I have a prepared bio for Dr. Kraus. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to read through it a little quickly, so I apologize for that. And Dr. Kraus apologized for reading quickly, but that will give Bill plenty of time to share and talk about his responsibilities and his vision for our Continuum of Care, which is HARK. September 4th in 2018 of this year, Dr. Kraus began working as the first executive director of HARK. He's the very first one. And HARK is our Housing, Health, and Human Services Alliance of Rutherford County. HARK is Rutherford County's Continuum of Care. HARK, as the Continuum of Care, serves as the collaborative and coordinating organization for over 50 local housing, health, and human services agencies. And it provides oversight for federally funded housing programs. Before coming to HARK, Dr. Kraus served as the program director for Daymar College in Murfreesboro, where he was responsible for managing the business management criminal justice program and received the most outstanding adjunct faculty award from Motlow State Community College. He spent 25 years serving as the city manager for 6 small to mid-sized California and Tennessee communities, including Oak Hill, Tennessee, from August 2003 to June 2008. Dr. Kraus has taught a wide array of graduate public administration and undergraduate business courses since 2003 for Tennessee State University, Strayer University, Argosy University, Beth University, Martin Methodist College, and Vanderbilt University. From 1983 to 2003, his professional service includes Executive Director of the American Lupus Society, California Dietetic Association, and Long Beach Research Foundation, and General Manager of several California homeowners associations with responsibility for managing large condominium associations. As an active community volunteer, Dr. Kraus has been a member of the Brentwood Morning Rotary Club, the Lupus Foundation of America, and the California Dietetic Association. Dr. Kraus holds a doctorate in public administration from the University of Southern California at Los Angeles, a Master of Science in both Urban Studies and Public Administration, and a BA in Political Science. Dr. Kraus, who is a native of Cleveland, Ohio, spent most of his life in Southern California. He currently resides in Brentwood, Tennessee, and what's not in his official bio is, and what I probably find one of the more interesting aspects of his long and colorful career, is for a number of years he served as a top 40 radio disc jockey. So I enjoy hearing him tell his tales of his radio exploits. So if you would, welcome Dr. Bill Kraus.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Take your hands as far apart. At the count of 3, clap your hands as loud as you can make it and say wow that they can hear you at City Hall in Murfreesboro. 1, 2, 3, wow! That's the enthusiasm. Now, also say good morning to the person to your right. And say good morning to the person to your left.
Good morning.
Good morning. I bring you greetings from HARK. It's been a 3-month experience. It's a learning experience. And I, like so many people, initially had the concept and the perception that homelessness was basically some unfortunate folks who lived under a railroad bridge. But ladies and gentlemen, it's far more than that. It's community. When we define and describe the community of Murfreesboro, we think of MTSU as a university community. We think of the original and older parts of Murfreesboro downtown. We think of the medical center and the new developments out by the hospital. But we very seldom think of the many folks who are both in immediate need as well as long-term need for being helped. I don't like to use the term homelessness, even though that's the legal description, and that's how the federal government places it on grants and aids and so forth. I like to call it part of the unfortunate population. And homelessness just in our community and in Rutherford community is far more than the individual's immediate need. I applaud Major Joe and the Salvation Army, and I applaud the other nonprofit organizations that are out there to do the immediate need. And when we think of folks who are on the street when the temperature was 18 degrees the night before last, we begin to think, we never in our American society, never in our community, and never in our spiritual commitments do we want to see somebody die on the street because of being frozen. And we have one of the many organizations, the Cold Patrol, that specifically identifies when the temperature officially goes 32 degrees. We'll make sure and tour the community to invite men and women and their children who are living on the street into 2 shelters and 2 churches in downtown Murfreesboro. And this is part of the immediacy. And the immediacy is only one part of HARK. That is to be sure that people are well fed. That is to be sure that people are housed. That is to be sure that people have a second opportunity. The longer term of HARK, and it really is a broader term, and it becomes more and more critical in our particular area, not only of Rutherford County, but throughout Middle Tennessee, is affordable housing. When I specifically hear of seniors, for example, who are planning their retirement and find that they're priced out of even the minimum housing, when you hear of a number of people who are earning $14, $15, $16 an hour, thinking that, that's a livable wage, the impossibility of acquiring housing at an affordable rate. So part of HARK's mission is to be working with the city governments, Smyrna and Murfreesboro, and the county of Rutherford, and through the federal and state agencies to attempt to secure resources that provide housing for those folks who really have been funded outside of the availability and the opportunity to purchase shelter. We find so many of the nonprofits, and this is the one part of the testimony that I like to provide. Having been in city management for many years and having been in nonprofit management for many years, the one thing that I have always been mindful of is the dedication and commitment of people, the passion people have for helping others. But I have to say, without any reservation whatsoever, after many, 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 many years in this field, I have never seen a community like Murfreesboro that has so many dedicated men and women out there. Hundreds. And even in my short time with this assumption of activity, and even hearing the activity just in the matter of a few moments of the morning Rotary Club, to see the commitment and dedication, and not only during the season of giving, and not only in the season of faith and passion, but throughout 12 months out of the year. And when you have over 50 organizations in the Murfreesboro and throughout Rutherford County working together to, number one, make sure that nobody dies on the street from cold, nobody literally dies from starvation, but basically has a second chance. So the immediacy of these organizations are there to provide, not for inviting people from throughout the United States to come to Murfreesboro because this is where we are the best spot for the homeless, absolutely not, but to take care of our own, help those that have fallen down. I was amazed to see what defines and describes those people in need. Probably one of the most biting stories that I heard recently through one of the local principals at one of our schools within the community is when two brothers came to the teacher and said, "Can you help us? Can you help us? We don't know where we're going to sleep tonight. We no longer have a home. And our mom had just lost her job. And tragically, how many people out there are one paycheck away from having to live in their car?" And consequently, the school districts, both the city and the county, have been one of our major support, and one of the key people within the school district is on our executive committee of HARK. And we begin to see how you bridge people together, how you put resources next to the person so that you help immediate need. The thousands of meals that are being provided by such wonderful organizations as Major Joe's Salvation Army and other community organizations within Murfreesboro to make sure that people have food in front of them. Once you treat the urgency, once you treat the emergency of individuals, then you can begin to respond to what's the next step. Needless to say, a number of people who fall into homelessness fall from the traditional causes: alcoholism, drugs, mental illness. Another tragedy when you see how many veterans composite the population of the homeless. Those folks that have served the country well and are in a position psychologically or position physically that they have no place to go. We then take a look at how do we connect these people back into lives. One area that, I'd never even thought of, and it's information. I'm still in the learning process. There's a granny homelessness. And what's a granny homelessness? A grandparent who has lived all their lives and saved and provided housing, raised children, suddenly are faced with having to take care of their grandchildren because the parent or parents are no longer in the picture. And the housing situation becomes extremely difficult. So in this Christmas holiday, what am I here to ask for you? I'm not here to ask for money. Do we have to write a check? You're writing checks to many wonderful organizations in this community. I'm here to ask you, and you certainly, I never have to say this to Rotarians, you see in any organization, any newspaper picture, any bell ringing, any dedication, any barbecue, any activity, Rotarians are always at the front. Service above self. And we hope that that service above self finds its way to the wonderful men and women in the organizations throughout this community who are dedicated, committed, and passionate about helping those less fortunate. Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen.
As you're sitting down, I want to make sure we open up to the floor, just if you're okay with some Q&A, if anybody has any questions for you.
Is Jim Acosta here? I'm fine.
We have a comedian as well. All right. Right. Any questions? Yes.
Have
Madeline.
you ever come to the city of Murfreesboro and asked how we can help you? Have you ever spoken with the mayor or any of the councilmen?
We've reached out and we have met with the mayor. Did a wonderful breakfast a couple weeks ago. And had the pleasure of meeting with the city manager 2 days ago. And Major Joe and I both appeared before the entire city council 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I guess it was. So creating the linkages with our local government and the county government. We've met with the county mayor. I will be meeting with the town manager of Smyrna coming up next week. So yes, and the public agencies to date have been wonderful in terms of their understanding and grasp of what we need.
Well, I'd like to give you a token of appreciation. You obviously know Rotary. You told me even in hearing your terminology, service above self. Yeah, but the four-way test of the things we think say or do are on this coin. I'd like to give that to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thank you.